Let's hope they got a good shoot and don't land in a tree. Hi everyone, I'm Jacob, I'm the CowHatLibrarian, and I've got a good one tonight, though admittedly I'm going to the well fairly often with this. It's a graphic novel based on the author's real-life experiences. It is Parachute Kids by Betty C. Tang. As the story starts, Feng Li, her brother, her sister, and her parents are leaving Taiwan to take a trip to the United States, to go to Disneyland and go on an amazing vacation. They have a little bit of trouble with the customs officials, but things are smoothed over. They have the best vacation ever. And then her parents start packing to leave. What their parents didn't tell them before the trip is that things were getting kind of bad in Taiwan. And they wanted their kids to have an opportunity for a better future. So they planned for the dad to go back to Taiwan and continue working and making money, that the mom would stay for a while to help them get settled in, and that the kids would just stay in the United States from then on. And they would just try their best to avoid being outed to government officials that they weren't supposed to be there. And after a fairly short amount of time, their mom has to head back too because her visa is about to expire. And she has to leave the country so she can get a new visa. And so the three kids are left on their own. They've enrolled in the local schools, and Feng Li's older brother and sister know a bit of English, so they're able to gradually fit in. Feng Li doesn't know any English. She only speaks Chinese and has a heck of a time getting anywhere at school. She doesn't understand anything anyone says. The only Chinese girl in her class gets mad whenever anyone suggests that she's Chinese, and she angrily tells them that she's American. And the only people that Feng Li can talk to are her siblings and their aunt and uncle, some family friends who are sort of looking after them. Well, until they have to move. And then it's just Feng Li and her brother and sister on their own. To make things worse, they each had to choose American names so that they could integrate better into the community. Feng Li didn't really have a preference. She happened to see the name Anne on something, and so she chose Anne as her name. Her brother and sister chose names, although her brother doesn't like his American name and doesn't want to go by it. And they basically do the best they can without their parents, without their family friends, and they just try to keep a low profile and survive. But it's tough. They don't have a lot of money. They have to handle all the household stuff by themselves. Most of it's taken up by Feng Li's older sister, who is also working very, very hard in school and studying for her SATs. Her brother is starting to get in with the wrong crowd and starting to get into the same sort of trouble that he'd been in Taiwan. And then things get worse. Her brother ends up in the hospital after he's pushed down an embankment by a boy he was hanging out with, who he thought had feelings for him. And he ends up in the hospital. And her older sister gets scammed by someone randomly calling people and claiming that he knows they're illegal immigrants. And so she pays them $10,000 to try to clear things up, and then finds out that no, they were scammed. And things are pretty rough. This was compelling. This was great. Tang told a really, really interesting story, and I wasn't really aware of Parachute Kids and how many came to the United States. I'd be interested to hear how many came to Canada back in the day. And the idea that these kids were just there on their own with their family providing financial support from back in Taiwan was incredible. The circumstances they kept running into were very, very realistic, and I felt incredibly bad for the kids when each of them came up. When Feng Li's older sister got scammed, it's pretty obvious to readers of the book that's what's happening, and I felt very, very bad for her. This was so well done. It was well told. The characters were great. Tang captures the sibling rivalry stuff just perfectly with the bickering kids and the youngest one trying to play peacemaker and keep people from fighting and trying to find a way to make things work. And it was so, so, so good. Tang's artwork is solid all around, colorful and appealing and very, very clear. And I was quite happy with how Tang handled the two languages being spoken in the book. When the characters are speaking English, the word bubbles are standard, black text on white background. When they're speaking Chinese, she switches it to red text on a yellow background, and in a few places has some Chinese characters around it. It's a very, very clean and clear way to indicate what language they're speaking, and a visual reminder to the reader as to who should be able to understand what stuff that's going on. It was a great, great way of doing it, and I hope more graphic novelists will follow Tang's lead in the future. I liked it. It was a great way to handle it. With that said, it wasn't perfect. There are spoilers ahead because I have to talk about the deal breaker. The deal breaker, if there is any, is just that Fengli's brother, it's implied through different things in the book that he is attracted to boys, and nothing gets resolved with that. He has a bad situation where he thinks the boy in the gang is perhaps attracted to him and is pushed away from it, and then gets hurt, and when he sees him again is told that he's out of the group and there was nothing there, and there's no resolution to it. Things don't come out to his family about it. He doesn't come to terms with himself and realizing anything. It's left very, very unresolved. And I guess that's true to life, especially when you're looking at as short a time period as depicted in the book. Still, it was just a little disappointing that it was brought up and hinted at, and that there were flashbacks of him talking with his mom when he was younger about things, and that it wasn't really resolved. But I mean, that's life. Just in terms of a standalone story, I would have liked a little more resolution maybe. Still, I quite enjoyed it. If you enjoyed Finally Seen by Kelly Yang, you'll find a lot to like here. There's similar stuff about a girl from China coming to America and trying to find her way around things. Now, Finally Seen is a novel, and incidentally, I just learned there's been a sequel published called Finally Heard, and I'm waiting for that to come in. But if you like that, certainly give Parachute Kids a try. The other one, if you liked, and I know I refer to it all the time, but it's become my benchmark for this sort of thing. If you liked Sunny Side Up by Jennifer and Matthew Holm, you'll probably really like Parachute Kids. It's a period piece. Parts of it are based on the author's experiences when they were younger. There's some stuff with the main character and having an older brother who gets in with a not so great crowd. It's good stuff. If you like the Sunny series, you'll find lots to like here too. Go borrow this from your local public library. You'll like it. While I'm on that topic, if you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library, why not take just 1 minute and tell the powers that be exactly that? Tell your mayor, tell a council member, tell your MP or MLA that you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library. We're at a time where some public libraries are having trouble finding sustainable funding to continue improving the materials, programs, and services they offer, and a few good words in the right ears might make a world of difference. If by some chance you are a library staff member, don't forget, watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thanks for listening to me gush over yet another period-specific semi-biographical graphic novel. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back and see what else I have to talk about from the CowHat Library. Thank you. Bye now.